Now, we are at a point where technology will allow us to literally watch our heart rate variability in real time, so that when you practice these skills, we can actually see how the heart is responding. You can track your own progress when you mentally flex and you practice these techniques. So we're entering a new era of medicine, energy medicine, when we begin to understand not only what we are, how to cultivate that energy, but most importantly, how now we can measure and track progress. Now here, this is where things get really interesting, because as an energetic being, your energy does not stop at the physical boundary of your skin. Your energy radiates out into the world. So imagine again, Jake and Kai, they're up on stage, they're both wearing heart monitors, and imagine now they're practicing this coherence and they're sending compassion for themselves and mentally sending that compassion to the other. You can see in this graph that both individuals, both Jake and Kai, are both cultivating a sense of coherence, okay? But what's even more impressive, that they are synchronized with each other. And again, you can see perhaps Kai, represented by the red curve, has a higher heart rate. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about heart rate variability, because what you're looking at here is the reflection of how the autonomic nervous system, okay, your parasympathetic and your sympathetic arms of the autonomic nervous system, how they are balanced with each other, okay? So in essence, these two individuals now are not only synchronized in heart rate variability and coherence, it means that their autonomic nervous systems are literally like musicians in the symphony, where they are synchronized with each other. Their biology is now connected to each other energetically. And this has profound effects. We realize that studies have shown physiologic synchronization has been shown to increase a feeling of affiliation, compassion, and trust. It increases one's cooperation and ultimate pro-social behaviors with each other. So organizational health is very interested in looking at how they can maximize teamwork, maximize creativity and innovation amongst teams through this type of technology. And in fact, in medicine, this is fascinating because this concept of co-regulation, right, this physiologic synchronization, which is really what we're talking about, is the signs of compassion. We're starting to now get into this, the signs of compassion and connection. And it shows that if anyone is going for surgery, if you have one 30-minute pre-op visit with a physician, not to talk about the surgery, but literally just to cultivate a sense of connection and compassion, you will require up to 50% less opioid pain meds post-op, and there is a statistically significant decrease in post-op complications and a decrease in hospital stay when you experience that compassion. In fact, the University of Haifa showed that, again, if you cultivate that compassion, that physiologic synchronization, you will experience up to 50% less pain. Physical pain, mental pain. And for those of you who love horses or appreciate equine therapy, we realize how powerful a horse can be when a child has hypersensitivity disorder or is anxious. And what is happening? The heart of a horse is very big, and the heart is also known to be extremely coherent. And it can actually pull another individual's heart into that state of coherence, cultivating that sense of connection and calm. Now, if you're wondering, well, how in the world does that work? It's very simple. Again, electrocardiogram. What you're looking at is the electric current running through the heart. Physics 101. Anything with electricity running through it also creates a magnetic field, which means we're all We all have magnetic fields. We all have fields of energy around us. Typically 3-foot diameter, but it can be much greater when you appreciate how to cultivate and connect with your own energy. And so this biomagnetic field, okay, contains the information and the rhythms of the heart. So what we're saying now, that the heart is encoding your emotional state. Those rhythms, which is energy, rhythms of heart rate variability, is being sent to the brain, affecting how we think, act, feel, perform. It's sending that energy, that information throughout your entire body, affecting how we heal, how we thrive. And it's radiating out into the world, into our environment. And again, when you think about technology, the role technology can play, not only can we measure our own coherence, but we can create a group and we can measure our collective coherence together. We can measure our compassion. How much compassion are we cultivating for ourselves, each other, and the world? And that is now measurable. And in fact, your coherence can help somebody else become coherent. Studies have shown that when you bring people together and you ask them to cultivate that coherence, and then somebody walks into the room, even if they have no clue what in the world heart coherence is, it doesn't matter. When they're subjected in that field of energy, it will pull their heart into coherence. And again, this is all measurable. When they've applied this science into the classroom, you can see amazing results. In primary school, emotional problems decreased by 51%. Behavioral problems decreased 43%. Hyperactivity decreased 40%. Relating to peers increased by 50%. Now, I can tell you this. If I knew then what I know now, I would have insisted that every physician, every nurse, everybody who's about to open my chest and dig into my heart, I would insist that they leave whatever emotional stress, whatever's going on in their lives at the door, and they cultivate that sense of coherence and connection to reset, get tuned in to what's about to happen, get connected to each other. Because this is information that's not just for the patient. This is information for the practitioner. It's all of us. Now, I'm going to be bold, because I also believe not only should every physician and nurse, everyone in a hospital, everybody in healthcare be practicing this technique, but I also believe that every world leader should be tuning into this conversation. This changes everything. Okay? This is a graph from a publication from a peer-reviewed academic journal. And this is from an experiment that was done in 1996 in Washington, D.C., where a group of meditators said, hey, we're going to come together, we're going to fly into Washington, D.C. during June and July, your hottest months, when violence is when it peaks, when it's at its highest levels, and we're going to come together and we're going to focus on kindness and compassion and love for your community of Washington. And as we do this, you will see crime rate decrease by 20%. And they actually had a mathematical equation that looked at the population of Washington, and they said, our goal is 20%, we need 4,000 people to show up, okay? They weren't pulling numbers out of a hat. This is very scientific. As you can see, the line that goes up from left to right represents the number of individuals coming together to cultivate coherence. And at the end of 8 weeks, almost 4,000 people showed up. The line that's decreasing from left to right, this represents the percent change in homicide, rapes, and assault. What this graph is showing is that crime decreased by up to 23% in 8 weeks. And what is not shown here is that once people started to leave and go home, crime rate slowly rebounded right back to baseline levels. Now, what's fascinating is that in the backstory, this was performed in 1996. The publication was in 1999. It took 3 years of hardcore peer review scrutiny because the scientific community at that time just couldn't fathom that your thoughts, how you feel, can affect someone else's behavior. But now, we do. Now we can begin to understand these modes of action because we're thinking in terms of energy and frequency, vibration. However, I think the bigger question that we can address, it's the why. Why in the world are we designed in such a way that my thoughts and my energy affects your energy, your action? And to answer this, we just go back to what Da Vinci said. He said, look, we just have to learn how to see. We have to realize that everything is connected to everything else. And in fact, Nikola Tesla, which I'm sure many of you in this room will appreciate, is that if you want to understand the universe, we have to think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. So, let's put this together. Imagine next year, imagine Solex is having a celebration, celebrating coherence and connection and energy. And I want you all to imagine that you're up on stage with me and your favorite musician or DJ is playing your favorite music and we're all celebrating. And you're out on the stage and you're looking out at 50,000 individuals in the audience, right, celebrating. You would recognize very quickly that every individual has a different form of expression. Everybody's dancing in their own way. But you would also notice how everybody is synchronized to the same beat, to the same rhythm. And it turns out that nature is no different. Every flower, every plant, every element in Mother Nature is dancing to the exact same rhythm, the same frequency. I don't care what you label it. We can call it the Fibonacci sequence, golden ratio, sacred geometry. As a radiologist, I'm not concerned about labels. I'm more interested that you learn how to recognize these patterns. Because from the, environmental patterns to every fruit, every vegetable, everything that we, eat, it's all dancing to the exact same rhythm. Part of my job as a physician, I teach medical students anatomy. And I can tell you, every bit of our anatomy is dancing to this exact rhythm. Every bit to this ratio. And it's the same ratio that is connecting the vector equilibrium with the lotus flower in that initial image, in the lens that you're now wearing. Okay? So again, it's very important that you hear what I'm sharing with you, but more importantly, I want you to recognize it, I want you to see it. And ultimately, I want you to think about it. I want you to contemplate on it. Because this is a paradigm shift in the way that we understand ourselves and our relationships to each other. From the spiraling arms of the galaxy all the way down to our DNA, this frequency of energy permeates the entire system. And we are the system. Okay? In fact, even how we appreciate attractiveness in the world is all related to this particular geometry. So the moment that we begin to recognize this geometry, the moment we begin to reframe our own identity, not only as individuals, but as a collective, as a community. When you look at DNA studies, you realize that no matter what skin color, no matter what part of the world you're born, we're all over 99.9% genetically identical. For those of you who have pets, you have a dog that you love, I want you to recognize that you share 84% of your own genes with your pet. We're a global community. And I also want you to appreciate that when you cultivate that sense of coherence, when you hit that 0.1 hertz frequency, it just so happens that when you look at the magnetic field around this planet Earth, the very first magnetic field line is like a guitar string. You pluck that guitar string and it resonates at 0.1 hertz. Meaning that when you cultivate this sense of connection and this sense of flow of life, you're really connecting to something much greater than ourselves. We're connecting to a bigger system as part of this planet. So now, when we think about life, we begin to think of, yes, maybe life can be seen as a petri dish, culture of cells, but from that cellular perspective, you and I were each superorganisms made up of trillions of cells. And as Jake had mentioned that, in fact, we're up to even 10 times more bacteria than we are ourselves. We're a universe of life in itself. And yet, when we begin to think about the planet, this planet is a superorganism. We are each part of a system that's, again, much greater than ourselves. And when you have this lens, and when we begin to think in terms of energy and frequency and vibration, it helps us break through the greatest illusion, as Einstein identified, the illusion of separation. Because I can tell you, my friends, if the cells in your body treated each other like how global citizens are treating each other in this moment in time, you would be diagnosed with an autoimmune disorder. Imagine a white blood cell turning to a red blood cell and say, hey, I don't like the way that you look. Not recognizing the connection of the whole. And this is what happens when we're in a state of perpetual stress and angst. That degree of incoherence creates such a degree of confusion that we not only ourselves can't recognize each other, but we don't recognize each other as a global system. So I believe we are now entering a new era of medicine, a new era of humanity, because we're now beginning to understand how the heart is the common thread between self-care and global health. We now begin to understand how self-care is a form of social activism, and how, as Nobel Prize winner Ilya Prigogine said, when a complex system is far from equilibrium, small islands of coherence in a sea of chaos have the capacity to shift the entire system to a higher order. Right? This is so exciting. Your heart is an island of coherence for your entire body and can raise your entire frequency, your vibrational state. And you, in turn, now become an island of coherence for others. How you show up, no matter if you're running a clinic, how you show up perhaps with your family, your friends, your clients, your patients, it matters. And your heart is connecting to each and everyone that's not only dear to your heart, but to the broader system, the world. And this is where we are today. So, before I end this little component, because what I like to do, I know that I'm a little bit over time, but if I have permission, I love to run through a little experience. I want to share with you how to cultivate that state of coherence using a laser protocol, because this is really the magic, the real magic of this is when we practice it. Knowing is half the battle. Yeah, so, thank you. Thank you. So if it's okay, maybe just by a show of hands, would we like to run through? Yeah? Okay. So this is a really simple technique, but extremely powerful, okay? Now, the one thing I just want to mention is that I'm going to ask you to breathe a little slower and a little deeper than usual, okay? And for any of you who are singers or musicians, you know, I'm going to also ask you to try to breathe through your belly. So when you breathe in, I want you to feel your belly expand out to the world. And when you exhale, allow your belly to go back in towards your spine. But you just do you, do your best, and you're going to experience it no matter what. So I'm going to ask you, if you don't mind, if it's comfortable, close your eyes or stare off the tip of your nose, but don't look at me. I don't want to distract you. So let's begin by taking some nice, deep, full breaths. Begin to feel the flow of your breath through your body. Begin to feel the spaciousness of your body. And on your next deep breath in, focus your awareness on the tip of your nostrils. Feel the cool air as it rushes in. And notice the warmth of the exhale. Focusing your awareness as you continue slow, deep breaths. And on your next deep inhale, visualize the breath with a beautiful bright light starting at the crown of your head. And as you exhale, feel that light scan your entire body from head to toe. And just notice the experience of the wave of energy flushing stress or tension away from the body. And as you complete your body scan, on your next deep inhale, draw your awareness back to the tip of the nostrils. Feel the cool air rushing in through the nose. And with your exhale, drop into your heart, simply exhaling through your heart center. And just maintain focused awareness in and around your heart. Allow the breath to flow directly through your heart center. Feel your heart open with every inhale, receiving the gift of the breath. And with every exhale, drop deeper into the spaciousness of your heart. And just simply observe, experience the heart. Now I'd like you to think of someone, something, or an event that you're most grateful for. And just begin to listen to your body react to that gratitude, that special thought. And with every inhale, draw that energy into your heart center. Allow yourself to breathe in gratitude and continue to drop deeper into the spaciousness of your heart with every exhale. Continue to breathe in gratitude. And I invite you to begin radiating this energy from your heart with every exhale. Feel the energy flow through your body as you exhale. And with every inhale, allow yourself to receive the energy back to the heart. And as you continue slow, deep, rhythmic breaths, witness and experience the flow of energy as you radiate from the heart as you exhale and receive back to the heart with your inhales. Notice the ebb and flow. Notice the waves of energy. And as you continue to radiate and receive, I invite you to radiate even beyond the boundaries of your body, sending energy out into your environment. And when you place your awareness on the space around you, you begin to feel the environment as an extension of you. Feel your energy radiating out into the world and notice how far that you can radiate your gratitude with every consecutive breath. And with every inhale, feel all that energy rushing back through your body, through every cell, as it returns to your heart center. Feel the waves of energy flowing through you, all around you, knowing that you are pure light. Know that your light ignites the light in others. Know that your coherence raises the coherence for others, helping raise the coherence on this planet. As you continue to experience the energy, the gratitude flowing through you, all around you as you radiate and receive. And it's in these moments of deep heart connection that we synchronize with each other. It's in these moments of deep heart connection that we become one in mind, one in body, one in spirit. And over the next few breaths, I invite you to slowly bring your awareness back to the present, back to the room. And when you're comfortable, gently open your eyes and take a moment to truly appreciate with intention the experience, the sensations that you just experienced within yourself. So before I exit the stage, I just want to say, the fact that you are all here because you recognize that we are energy, you recognize that we as humans are affected by frequency and vibrations that can have a profound impact on our overall health and wellness, is so exciting. It's invigorating, and that we are all tuning in to this next chapter in medicine. And I just want to wish you all kudos for being on the forefront of healthcare. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.